So welcome to Property EU. We are delighted to be joined by Krochta, the President and CEO of MLP Group, for a brief one-on-one interview about the state of affairs with MLP Group, having just released their half-year report. So firstly, I suppose the first place to start is to introduce yourself, Radek, and MLP Group to the audience. Could you describe who you are, in what sector, and where you operate?
Yeah, just very briefly. I mean, I'm the CEO and President of MLP Group, being with MLP over 15 years. Prior to that, I was just, consultant and investment banker with some of the banks. MLP, we are an integrated industrial platform. We're operating in several countries. Predominantly, over 20 years ago, we started in Poland, when we've got very sizable footprint. We are very active in Germany, which is our, let's say, second country of operations, and we are active in Romania and in Austria, in Vienna. Germany and Poland, it's I mean, by 25, 26 should equalize. I mean, it will be 50%, and those are the key market for us. As of now, we are just doing only industrial real estates, nothing more. We are just the developer with the clear strategy, building and I mean developing and holding all the assets across Europe. We're not disposing. We are not the flipper. I mean, it's a very standardized, very simple company. We are listed on the stock exchange with the market cap over 2 billion. That's in brief. I mean, since we are listed, all the informations are just financial report are available on the web page.
And you've just released your half-year report, as mentioned at the beginning. What are some of the key figures from the first half of 2023 for the group?
It's that's maybe start. Maybe I should add to the introduction. We are very conservative. I mean, you can differentiate us from the flippers. I mean, since we holding all the assets, we are very conservative when it comes to the accepting tenants, with accepting the locations, because we've got very long-term view. I mean, we're not looking for another year, for next year, for 2 years. We're looking for 10 years, 20 years, and the key takeaways from our financial report are just, that our revenue grown by 50%. We're trying to combine our conservative approach with the growth in the last years. I mean, compounded growth for the last, I think, 15 years will be like a 20% yearly. I mean, 50% increase of the revenue, 50% increase in FFO, and we are just, on the right path to deliver our strategic goals, which we announced in 21, and we have to just meet them. Currently, we are managing over 1.1 million of the square meters of the industrial space across Europe. That's just in brief, because it's the rest. I mean, the NAV is growing, all the metrics are growing, important satisfaction of our tenants, because we've got over 160 tenants, and we're doing semi-annually kind of survey where we're analyzing all our tenants, and we've got kind of acceptance rates of rate of 90, I would say 4%, that we are the very solid partner. Important is to underline that for the last 20 years we've got retention rate of almost 100% from our tenants. That will give you the let's say the view on our stability. I mean, if somebody came to us, usually is very satisfied and staying with us forever.
Wonderful. So you mentioned earlier, and also in the report, having read it, that you were quite conservative, or adopted a conservative approach to the first half of 2023. Do you expect that trend to continue in quarter 3, quarter 4 for this year?
I mean, in our DNA, we always were, as I said, since we're holding all our assets, we were just very conservative. I mean, I don't want to go into details, but always we're looking at the standing of the tenants, Dun and Bradstreet. If it's not 1 or 2, we're not accepting such tenants, etc., etc. But I mean, we expected basically to have significant slowdown in the economy. 1 year ago, when we were doing the budget for this year, that was our let's say key probabilistic scenario, at least mine. But forecasts are, I always repeating to people that there are two kinds of forecasters: those who don't know and those who don't know that they don't know. This is the reality, and I mean, again, we position ourselves to expecting significant slowdown. It hasn't happened. I mean, when you look at the industrial segment, all the developers are just not flippers because they are cut off from the financing, from the funds, but stable developers. They are developing. We're not seeing any bankruptcy. We're not seeing any difficulties. That's we're trying to be conservative, but we somehow accelerating the growth towards the second half of the year. We believe that the whole economy will be in the kind of soft landing situation, and we strongly believe that 24 will be better. I mean, the worst is over. Of course, the interest rates are peaked, and maybe we'll have some another hike of the interest rate, but rather no. I mean, inflation is going down. That's why our now key scenario is soft landing. It happened, and now we really want to accelerate and benefit from this situation, accelerate the growth in 24. Again, to have at least the 20% growth on the annual basis. This is our, let's say, key principle, to grow 20% and to have, as I said before, I mean, this sub-matrix, like to have 100% retention rate, not have any problem with the tenants, because it's important to say that out of 160 tenants we've got, none of them is in any delinquency. All the rentals are just paid on time. That this is really perfect situation, and this kind of conservative approach paid off, especially nowadays when we would slow down in the economy.
Yeah, so you mentioned some of those macro challenges facing real estate in Europe, and also that occupier demand sounds still pretty strong. That is that your view across both your portfolio and is it consistent across the markets that you serve? Are they all very strong occupier wise, or are there some fluctuations depending on the location?
You answer, in your question, basically to my point of view. I mean, basically, we're not looking so much on macro, because macro we cannot influence, and it's at the end of the day, it's I mean, nobody can influence, nobody can predict. ECB has more than 200 economists with PhD, and nobody knows what the GDP will be, what the interest will look at, etc. That macro is not so much important. It's at the end of the day, Europe will grow by 1% and we'll have the recession of -1%, will not change. We're looking specifically for micro, and micro is the most important for us. We're looking for specific location where we can invest. Like we bought 2 weeks ago the plot in Sprenhagen. This is in Berlin, close to Berlin, just next plot to the Tesla factory. Whether the automotive industry probably will slow down, I mean, in Europe, especially German industry. But again, if you look at the micro location, it's a perfect location, because Tesla will build another charging battery factory, will increase the gigafactory, and this is specific location. Across Europe, we are trying to get the best plots. We are more and more focused on city logistic, not the big boxes. Of course, big boxes will develop, but city logistic, whatever we're buying the city logistic plot, we believe that this is super resilient to the economy. Like without just starting the project in Vienna. This is in the middle of Vienna, where the economy will not slow, where the macro will be positive, negative. It's super resilient project. Will develop, will get it leased. The rentals will be just above the market, because you don't have the competitors. Since you're building in the Europe, in the big cities, the city logistic, that means you have to convert, usually in most of the cases, the brownfield into greenfield. You don't have the competition. You don't have the competitors. That's where the macro will slow, where they will know. We still believe that we'll be on the track to deliver 20% growth.
Perfect. What is MLP Group's ESG strategy, and what are you doing to fulfill the long-term ambitions there?
ESG, it's a nice word. Everybody is now using, everybody is asking, and of course we publish some reports, which is, I mean, we're trying to be ESG compliant, but in essence, I mean, over 50% of the ESG points you're getting for the efficiency in energy, if I could just, generally say it. We developed on our roofs of our industrial building across Europe, everywhere, the PV panels. We now only consuming green energy. Of course, we're doing these additional things like gray water, like we're planting some special trees and stuff like that. But energy efficiency is our key point. How to become super energy efficient. We're working now on the kind of vertical windmills to install in one of our properties, just to increase our green energy position. Of course, I mean, if you take the government, social, our management board consists 50-50 women, men's. I mean, the split between gender is like a 50-50% we're trying to fulfill. We'll start reporting ESG, I guess, next year onwards, where it will be, all this EU taxonomy will be in place, we'll report, but we're trying to focus really on the energy efficiency. This is key point which really can impact. I mean, I'm not saying about the, writing nice colorful report about the equality and stuff like that, but rather to really to focus on that and to emit less and less CO2 to the atmosphere, which is our, let's say, key point.
Perfect. And finally, your outlook for H2 2023. I think you've summed it up broadly there, but if you could give us a small snapshot for both half to 2023 and beyond, what will MLP Group continue to expand?
I always looking long term. I'm not so much interested because short term I cannot influence nothing. Whatever will happen in a couple of months will happen. Whether I will sign this number of the leases or not, I mean it's beyond my control. But long term, meaning 25, 26, the key point for us is to grow 20%, be very resilient, to have very solid tenant base, and the matrix to be 50-50% Poland, Germany by 25, 26. To have the portfolio split between city logistic and big box, again 50-50%. Of course, we'll enter in the coming months to Benelux, whether it will be Netherlands, whether it will be Belgium, probably it will be Netherlands, because we're now analyzing several city logistic projects in Amsterdam. We're looking at Antwerp, we're looking at some other cities. But anyway, I mean, Germany and Poland will be the core of our market. It will be some additions, whatever it sounds. I mean, Austria, of course, we are in Vienna. We'll probably buy another project in Vienna. We're looking at Salzburg, Linz. Romania will stay as addition. Benelux will stay as addition. But the massive potential is in Germany. We have to be top 3 player in Germany. This is our key strategic point. Now the majority of our energy goes to develop Germany. As I said, we have to be top 3 in Germany. This is the key point for us on the strategy.
Radek, Krochta, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate you coming on and sharing your insight, and good luck with 2023 and beyond.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thank you. Take care. Bye.